In the previous class, we have already learned about different branches of economics and the basic economic problems which comes under micro and macro economics. But we shall consider in this class how the quantities of outputs of different commodities are decided at micro level, how the prices are to be charged for the different commodities, how the prices and quantities of commodities are determined by the interaction between the forces of demand and supply. So basically we'll be dealing with theory of demand, what are the concept of demand, what are the elasticity of demand, we'll be discussing in this chapter. So let's begin with what demand is. Concept of demand is it is a quantity is demanded because it has the ability to satisfy a want. However, wanting a commodity is not the same thing as demanding it. When we say demand for a commodity, we actually mean the desire for the commodity which is backed by purchasing power. When a consumer wishes to consume a commodity and also has the necessary purchasing power, we say that they have a demand for the commodity. Now, according to the definition of demand, it actually means the quantity of a commodity which a consumer is willing to buy at a particular price during a particular period of time. According to this definition, we see there are three important elements of the definition of demand. That is, first one is willingness to buy, second is at a particular price, and third is for a period of time. So three important elements of demand is quantity, price, and time. So when you have the desire or willingness to buy a particular product at a particular price and for a particular period of time, that completes or that creates a demand for a particular product. Like for example, if a consumer demands 2 kg of wheat for 1 month at rupees 20 per kg, that means the quantity that is required by the consumer is 2 kg, which is available at rupees 20 per kg. So he's paying every month because the duration for which he requires 2 kg is 1 month. That means he is ready to pay 40 rupees for 2 kgs of wheat for a month. So his monthly expenditure on the wheat is rupees 40. That means he has that purchasing power to avail 2 kgs of wheat for 1 month. So according to the definition of demand, it actually means that you have the willingness to buy a particular product which is available at a given price for a particular period of time. Next, we move on to features of demand. Now, what are the features of demand? First point is demand depends upon the utility of the commodity. Now, in the previous class, I've already explained to you what a utility is. It means the expected satisfaction that a consumer it desires from a particular product, or the level of satisfaction he feels that a particular product is going to give him, or the utility that the commodity is going to give him. So that creates demand for that particular product. If you find a particular product useful to you, that creates the demand, your desire to purchase the particular product. So demand depends upon the utility of the commodity. Second point is demand always means effective demand. That is, when your demand, like I said, when your demand for a particular commodity or your desire to buy a certain commodity is backed by purchasing power, that means you have sufficient money, or you are financially secured enough to buy that particular product. You have that amount of money to buy the good that you desire, that creates an effective demand. So this feature actually explains that a demand, your desire for a product is just not enough. You should have the sufficient money, you should have that purchasing power, so that your desire is converted. Once your desire is backed by purchasing power, it creates an effective demand. Now, third point is demand is a flow concept. Now, demand is a flow concept because our willingness and ability to buy is subjected to a particular time period. Like if in the previous example you see 2 kgs of wheat was desired for 1 month, that means there is a subjected time period. So at different times we may have different demand schedules. Means for like if you for different period of time you require different quantity of the available goods. So demand is a flow concept. It is because our willingness and ability to buy is subjected to a particular time period. Demand means demand for the final consumer goods, means the goods that you're finally going to consume. Now, demand is a desired quantity, means you have a demand for a particular commodity. That doesn't mean that you're going to buy any quantity of that particular good. There has to be a limited, there has to be a desired quantity. Like for 1 month your desire is just 2 kgs. Okay, so there is a desired quantity that you want to buy. So this is the features of demand. Let's move ahead. Next topic is factors determining demand and demand. Factors determining demand. Now, when we say demand is a multivariate relationship, it actually means that demand criteria or the factors which determine demand is are very simultaneously related to each other. Like for example, if I say the commodity X, now commodity X, the price of the commodity X is very important. When we compare two products, it should be a homogeneous product. Two identical or similar products are compared to each other. So what happens is when the price of commodity X is feasible, when you agree to buy a particular commodity X, or you create a demand for commodity X, the price of the other good or the related good, which is a similar good to X, the price of the other good should be more, because as per demand we tend to buy the goods. When we have two similar goods, we tend to buy goods that is available to us at a lower price. So the price of the other good should be more compared to the price of the commodity X that you want to buy. So this is how price of commodity X and price of the other good, that is Z, is related to each other, because both are similar good. So what makes you buy what makes you buy the commodity X is its price, because it is available to you at a cheaper rate. Also, this is your price of commodity X and price of other good Z. Now, why is your consumer's income? Now, you should have that salary, you should have that purchasing power, you should be financially strong enough to buy that good which is available at the price of commodity X. Now, the price of that good X should be such that it comes under your budget. The income should be enough to buy for you to buy that particular commodity. And last one is consumer taste and preferences. That is, your taste and preferences should not change. It should remain same. The technology upgradation should not be there. Your taste and preferences should be constant. You should still have that liking for the product that you are buying, that is your commodity X. Next is demand. A demand function is the relation between the consumer's optimal choice of the quantity of a good and its price is called demand function. That means the quantity at which the good is available to you at a given price relates to your demand function. The relation between the optimal choice or the possible choice that is available and its price is called your demand function. Now it becomes very clear that individual demand for any commodity, for example X, is there is an interdependence between the individual demand for the commodity and those that can be expressed in the functional form, that is your price of commodity X, price of commodity Z, the consumer income, the taste and preferences, etc. So these are the factors which actually relate to the demand function. Next, we have demand and price will actually relate how the quantity, demand and price relate. Now, first thing that we are going to read is law of demand. Now, we've learned about what is actually demand. Now we shall learn what is the law of demand. What does law of demand state? It actually states that there is a definite and inverse relationship, means there's an opposite relationship between the price of a good and quantity demanded of that good. For example, if I say when the price of a commodity rises, the demand for it falls. When the price of a book, or when you say the price of a pen, right, a pen increases, the demand or the quantity that you demand, it's not the demand remains the same, but the quantity that you demand falls. Like I've explained you earlier, um, when I was explaining utility. Suppose you are buying a pen for rupees 3. Okay, now I'm saying cost of one pen is rupees 3. Okay, now the consumer, but now the shopkeeper is offering you two pens at rupees 5 each. So initially the price that was offered was rupees 3 for one pen. Now if you choose an option to buy two pens, actually each pen will be costing you rupees 2.5. That means there's a decrease in the value of each pen. So initially the pen that you were going to initially when you were going to buy one pen for rupees 3, now two pens are available to you at rupees 2.50 each. That means there is a decrease in the price. So once the shopkeeper has decreased the price, the quantity that you demanded has increased from one pen to two pen. So this is how you can understand that when the price falls, the demand or the quantity demand increases. So there is an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demand. So this chapter will be basically dealing with this kind of problems, how the changes in price of a good changes the quantity demanded for certain commodities. So though there are some exceptions also, but how is this price and quantity related to each other? This is explained in the law of demand. So it clearly states that if there is an increase in the price, the quantity demand will fall. Okay, and if there is decrease in a price, the quantity demand for goods will increase. Let's move on. Assumptions of law of demand. Now the law of demand is valid only when the following assumptions hold. If the stated criteria are fulfilled, only then the law of demand stands. Like first one is the price of the related goods remain the same. When I was explaining you the factors of demand, I've explained you how the price of the other good, that is your related good, should either be, the price should be higher or it should not change. There should not be an increase or decrease in the price. If there's no because if there's a decrease in the price, the demand for that particular good will increase. So if the demand of the related good increases, the quantity demand for the commodity X will fall. So there should not be any change in the price. Okay, to maintain the demand for commodity X. The income of the consumer remains unchanged. Obviously your income should not be lowered. If your salary becomes less or if your income becomes less, you cannot avail the goods that you're buying today. Okay, so that good might prove a little expensive for you and you may not be able to afford that good. So income of the consumer should remain unchanged. Your taste and preferences should remain the same. It should not change. All the units of the goods are homogeneous. Like I've explained earlier, it should be a similar good or a related good. Commodity should be a normal good. A normal good means like I said, it should be as per the law of demand. When the price of the commodity will increase, its demand should fall. So it should be a normal good. It should not be, there are certain goods which does not affect when there is a change in the price. Those are your luxury items. Means there are certain goods where if if there's any edible good, so if the price suddenly falls, you feel that the price has fallen, that means the good is not up to the mark, up to that level. Why have they decreased? There are certain goods, so in those cases there are exceptions where law of demand does not stand. So it should be a normal good. That means when there is a increase or decrease in the price, there is an increase or decrease in the quantity demanded. So these are the assumptions of the law of demand. So these are the conditions which should remain as it is so that the law of demand stands. Demand schedule and the demand. Now, demand schedule is the representation of the law of demand. That means when the price is increasing or decreasing, so there is an increase or decrease in the quantity demand. So this law of demand, when it is shown in the table like this, it is called demand schedule. So if we can see here that when the price was rupees 20 per kg, the demand for the wheat, for example, let us assume that we are buying wheat per kg every month. Demand is for 1 month is rupees 6 kg. Okay, when the demand increases from 20 to 30, the demand falls. So increase in price has actually led to fall in demand. So demand has fallen from 6 kgs to 5 kg. Similarly, the price increases from 30 to 40, the demand falls by 1 more kg, that is becomes from 5 to 4, and when the price increases from 50, it falls to from 4 kg to 3 kgs. So this is actually, they've shown how with the increase in price, there has been a fall in the quantity demanded per kg per month of a wheat. Now demand curve. Now when we represent this tabular or this tabular representation in the form of a graph like this, it is called a demand curve. Now how do we put on these points? Firstly, you need to draw the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, now your y-axis holds the price. So the price of the goods, that is from rupees 10, 20, 30, 40. This is the price of the goods, and this is the quantity per kg. Like we've used it here, quantity demanded, that is kg per month, and this is your price per kg. So this, your y-axis holds the price and x-axis holds the kg. So when the quantity when the price is rupees 20, the quantity demand was 6. So your point lies somewhere here. So this is actually your x-axis and y-axis. So when the price is 30, the quantity demanded was 5 kgs. When the price becomes to 40 kg, the quantity demand is 4 kgs. And when the price comes to 50 kg, so this is your demand curve. When you join all the 4 points, this is how you get the demand curve. So this is how we draw the demand curve line. So in this slide, we've discussed about, I've actually given you an introduction to this chapter with what is the definition of demand, what are the features, factors affecting demand of the commodity is very important. Please read your textbooks again, and if you have any queries, you can ask. What is a demand function, law of demand, definition and assumptions, demand schedule, and what a demand curve is. So this is all we have it for the slide today.